So in the config element, we discussed about the CSV, right? Let me open JMeter.
Yes.
Yeah. So in the config elements, till now we discussed about the CSV. Right? CSV is for the whenever you want to use any Excel file to load our data, then we can use this one. And along with CSV, we have header manager, right? Header manager for metadata. Same as cookie and cache, you just add it. It will, you just add it in the backend to transfer the data. Same request default is nothing but whenever your request is blank, when you want to pass multiple same thing with all the okay, you can use request false, right? After that, we
But
have yeah.
this request defaults is there, right?
Mm.
So we no need to, for every request, no need to write the URL. Only the URL we can enter it in this request defaults, and the path for each request, the path can be changed, right?
Yes, yes. When what are the like common things for
No.
every 20 or 30 APIs? If you change your path is also same, then major path won't be same, right? Otherwise, it will be same request only. Correct.
Okay.
So that's why whatever the common like method or the protocol or URL or port. So this is another common we can keep here. So this will help us only when changing environments, dev to UAT, UAT to like that. In a single script, you want to change safely and easily, you can use this request defaults, right? And apart from that, we have seen this Chrome driver config and Firefox driver, Chrome driver config. Chrome driver config nothing but if you add this, it will open the Chrome driver.
Okay.
Okay, so these are we discussed, but there are few important config elements which you have is user defined variables. This is very important. User defined variables nothing but a kind of a configuration note. Suppose currently in the request defaults, what we can do, we can add uh only few things, right? Server name, body, path, only few things, but user defined variables like complete your
Adding
data.
of the server name in request defaults, like after after recording the script only we can do it, right?
No, request default won't come at that time. When
Ah,
you do manually,
yes. But no, after recording all the script.
once you're recording, you have to replace.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Same way, user reference like all the elements. Suppose I have property, I have email, I have some. Suppose I'm not using this, so I have username, password. So a lot of things will be there. Those we can use in the this user defined variables.
Okay.
Okay. What are the common things? Basically, so you don't have to go and change the script.
Okay.
Okay. So I mean, so whenever using this means we don't have to go inside the script and change it. Suppose you have 30, 40 APIs are there. In the 30, 40, yeah, in the 30, 40, you don't have to change entire thing. So simply define, okay, whenever running a test, like suppose anything, if whenever running test, go if you are going inside the JMX file and changing the API somewhere, then you have to use them here. It's like
Okay.
a configuration property. So whenever you run, it will fill up the details from this data and it will use it. So right. Suppose now if I write username JMeter, now how we can pass it? You can using again dollar curly braces user. Okay, right click, add, let's add a sampler. I need to add that group first. Add thread group, add sampler, HTTP request. Okay, suppose I'm passing some data here. So I'm path slash, if I want to pass the username there, then dollar curly brace user. Whatever defined user defined variable, right? You can use dollar curly brace of value inside our script, throughout script. Right? So this is one of the config elements. So whenever, I mean, suppose you know a JMX you can do, right? But when sharing your team, he might not know what are things are there. So it will be a little bit difficult to change him, no? That's why I use this user event for properties. Okay, sometimes whether we're giving user and password, user and ramp up, right? You can define this here also. Users. Let's say you want to run with the two. So you'll give here thread group dollar users. Anywhere the JMS file, you can use it. Okay. Let's see what are other important config elements. Yeah, when covered DB database, then we'll get this one. Okay. Now they're called HTTP authorization manager. Okay, this is kind of important, but I mean, generally we are not sure when this work, when this no one work, because this will, suppose if you see, when you open an application, right, sometimes it auto logins based on your computer profile. No, some applications, some of the office projects will be like that. Okay, and some are like if you say it will ask Microsoft user and password. I mean, whatever you do enter system, right? It may ask those things. You guys ever faced those things? When log into application, instead of application login page, it will ask system login or Microsoft login. Or in the Chrome type, you will see right here. Let me check. Windows space application. See, sometimes it will ask like this. Have you guys faced the Windows security? Or sometimes it will ask like this. Right? So it will write checking your system data. Or I will show you one more thing. Uh, should be in Chrome. So sometimes it will ask like this. Authentication required. Have you ever faced these things when you log into application, especially in our office machines? Shweta, Nerila,
Yes, Ram.
you understood, right? Sometimes it will ask like this. So in that case, our normal login won't work because that is a kind of a that's kind of a server only, but you can't capture or record it. That one is not going through a browser or not going through a machine. So in that cases, we won't be capturing our login. We may capture other things because browser will start. So in that cases, we have to use HTTP authorization manager. Okay, this authorization you have to give your username and password normally. You have to check with the domain read name from your admin because the real name has separate keyword. So based on application based login, it will be defined and which you are targeting. So base user and password is common. Only these things you have to get from your domain or developer or anywhere. Then only you can use HTTP authorization manager. Okay. Yeah. Now. Hmm. Okay. So these are the important things in the config element. Okay. Any doubts? No, clear, no?
Yes.
Nirila, able to get it?
Yes, Ravi.
Yeah. Okay. So now let's discuss the bean shell. What is the bean shell? Bean shell nothing but to write a code. Whenever a JMet is not able to, JMet is not able to do with the components or not able to get our custom requirement, in that cases we'll use a bean shell. Okay. So here you can use Groovy or Java or bean shell language. So bean shell is nothing but kind of Java only. If you know Java, you can write in a bean shell. Or if you're not familiar with the bean shell and Java, you can use Groovy. Suppose in a team, right, your automation testers or developers who are using Groovy, so you can use Groovy in JMeter. Or if they're using JavaScript, you can use JavaScript. So these are the languages which you can support it in JMeter. Okay, so we have check it, right? We have beanshell in all the components. If you see here, sampler, beanshell sampler, timer, beanshell timer, assertion, beanshell assertion, preprocessor, beanshell preprocessor, postprocessor, beanshell postprocessor. Right? For every component you have beanshell, because suppose you want to validate it, you want to write a code, so use beanshell assertion. Suppose you want to, once you got the response, then you have to do something on the response, and then use beanshell postprocessor. You write same code, same logic, but when to execute will decide by this component. Suppose you want to execute your code before, use preprocessor. After, postprocessor. Validation, assertion. Suppose you want to delay your script using beanshell, use beanshell timer. You understood, right? This is because you should know when to and where to use. Okay, so let's go to the first our beanshell assertion. Let's see if I open my existing scripts. Otherwise, I'll write on own. Understood why we are using beanshell? That's important first. Let me check where is it. Okay, let's check these things. So right, whenever plugin manager is there, right? So if you are loading the, if any JMX is loading, it will ask like that. So simply click on install. Mm. Okay, it's not that. Let me write my script. So let me write a two HTTP request, because for any single, if you want to use, right, we have our single assertions. But whenever you have two or multiple requests, you want to compare, you want to do more assertions, right? Then we'll be using this beans assertion. So let me write. Let me save this beans assertion. Suppose, right, I'm getting this data. What is that? Res HTTPS. Change it what you are getting. I'm not using any slash. Okay. Slash. You're getting like this only. That's fine. Now, if you see here, I'm getting this response, right? Suppose I want to confirm whether, let's say, whether it's a I have list users are there. Okay. In the first request, I want to check whether list users there or not. So how can I check if I want to accept singly? I can copy this paste using response assertion. I can test it. Okay, is the last user there are? But I want to know whether in both two requests or not. I want to fail only when both of the requests are not there. Can I do in with now with our existing assertion? No, right? Or I want to compare the data and I want to fail. Do you have any logic in the assertion says that, okay, give this input and compare? No. That's why using a beanshell code. Okay, now what you have to do, we have to first extract these values. Whether it's both values to extract. Okay, so let's write a regular expression tester. First extract the value. Let me search with the text first. What is that? List users. I think you will get a lot of things for this key. Or let me use a proper API. It's easy to assert and get to it. Right. Suppose here I want to know whether total is 12 or not. In the same second request also. You clear, right? What I'm trying to do. Understood, no? So now let's extract the total. How will extract? Let's write the expression. Control C. Replace our value with dot plus question mark. You got 12. So let's use the same expression for the first request also. Is working or not? Right? For both the requests, same expression is working. So let's go to extractor, add post processor, regularization extractor. So I'll give total one name $1. What is the match number? 1. So let's use this is the get 1. And I'll use same copy paste for request to Control C, Control V, use get 2. Okay, so now I have, let me put same different variable name, right? Otherwise it will override. So I have extracted 2, total 1 here, and in from this total 2. So I want to know whether the total and total same or not. If same, then pass. If fail, fail it. How to do first? Right click on request to add assertion, means assertion. So I want to compare, right? So to compare first, what I need to get the values inside the script. So now what I will do? String, I'll define string t1 equal to where dot get. Correct? Whenever you want to get anything variable to inside a script, you have to use where dot get. Total 1. And I will print it whether it's properly retrieved or not. Log.info total 1 is plus t1. Understood? This is very common. One not have to do anything, you have to get the value first and print it. Control C. And let's do string 2 here, right? And total 2. And here let's do total and total. So I'm checking whether I'm getting the basic values or not. Let's enable the console. So you got 12 and 12, right? But manually I can check, okay, both are 12 on pass. But every time I can't check now whether it's running for 100 or 200 users. So now what I do, I'll write a comparison logic. So if T1 equal to T2. Right? Means if T1 equal to means what I have to do? It's a pass condition. So in that case, I need to pass my script. Right? Or in the else no what I can do. Okay, let's write like need to discuss first. If T1 not equal to 1, I need to fail it, right? Guys, able to understand, no?
Yes, Ravi.
Yes.
Yeah. So you need to fail. How I to fail? I can't tell Geometry to fail this, no? I should use some components. If you see here, this beanshell should see failure message. So this will help us to fail it. If you call this failure, let's equal to control C. It's a fail condition, right? If I use failure equal to true, it means Geometry will fail this request too. Now, what is the message? We should get my message also. No, you see failure message here. Simply copy paste. Is that equal to say both T1 and T2 are not match. Otherwise, by default, it will pass now. So we don't have anything. So now let's run the code and check. And now if you observe these days, we have one more option called compile. I said JS, sir. I'll tell you when it is in JS, sir. Okay, let's run the code. Okay, we got error in the scripting. Let's do script. String invoking enter line number 11 column 1. Okay, see, I didn't miss a semicolon, right? That's why very careful. Let's use semicolons are important. Now let's run and see whether we get any scripting errors. Okay, we didn't get any scripting errors gone through. And if you check here, it's still failing. 20 not matched. Can you guess why it is failing still? Why it is failing? Both T1 and T12 only, no? It is going to this condition, right? Why it's going to this condition? So because it's a strings now. So I think equal to, let's see, string and compare, right? Now let's search string unequal in Java. We can write like this, we can write that way. Yeah? I'm not sure what I'm missing there. You can use equals comparison. Okay, so string we define like this, we can compare equals. But we can use equal to also. Let me check. So you can write like this way, but we are looking for not equal, no? In the way I'm using this is a different, I guess. I think I have to use reverse way. Let's try to put this exclamation on this side. Okay, let's see. What is the scripting error? Inappropriate object. Okay. Let's use equals only. I have to this confusion. So T1 dot, what is that value? Java equals dot equals of second value. Control C dot equals of T2. Okay. Now let's run and see. Why it is still failing? Both are not equal only. No? Okay. Sorry. What is my condition here? It's equals, right? That's why it's going here. No, I shouldn't use this condition. No. If it is not equals, if T1, I need to put not here. Okay. T1 not equals T2, then. Okay. See, now both are passed. Because both are getting 12. So what I'm doing simply, if my T1 not equal T2, let's go to this condition fail equal true. Fail. But here, in our case, both are pass only, right? But if let's say I will make this condition as equals, means I want to fail when both are equal. So in that case, the if will come here and this is these two things. So fail equal true means geometry will think this should fail and message should be displayed not slash again and see. Okay, see, second time it failed, and if you click on here, it says message both T1 T1 not matched. So this is the way you use assertion. If you use assertion, you have to use these two keywords. What are the logic you write? Ending, last, everything. And last, you'll write this. Okay? Clear, right? Beanshell assertion.
Yes, Ravi.
So you have to remember these two, failure and failure message. Okay, now let's go to beanshell timer.
So when you're using beanshell for all the other things, also components, also we have to use the same one.
Yeah,
Like if
same way.
beanshell assertion, then beanshell timer.
Yeah. Same concept. Wherever you want to execute, when you want to delay it, use a timer. You want validating, you will assertion. Same concept. I'm getting logic is the same, but where to execute is the difference. Suppose, right, I want to use the same code in beanshell timer, it will work, but it won't give delay, no?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the way. So everywhere, what are the component beanshell? We have 5 components, you can use same logic.
I mean, it
Suppose,
is not compulsory that if we use beanshell assertion, then we need to use a beanshell timer. And can't we use the other timers?
we can use it also. All are independent.
Okay.
You can use either way, beanshell or anywhere. It's not a combination of anything. It's not like depend on any other component.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have like lot of timers, no? Then what is the reason that we have to use beanshell timer?
That's the same customer requirement. Suppose, see, I want to generate the delay based on my username and ramp up. Do you have option there in the timers? Want to generate time delay based on user and ramp up?
No.
No, right? So that's where. Now I use beanshell timer. Or I want to generate the delay based on my number of APS. Or I want to generate delay based on my configuration. It should be dynamic. So what I will do, I'll give one input 3 or 4 parameters, then automatically the delay should come and continue. So ideally what happens if there is no beanshell timer, we will be calculating manually and look at this time. Oh, okay, I'm giving 100 users, 500 ramp up. So, okay, delay will be 1 second. I will calculate is, I have given there. So every time you can't do that, right? Automatically a script should take. There is no manual things. Once a JMet run a script means, irrespective of whatever thing you are doing manually should be automated.
Okay.
Okay, that's why. Okay, let's go beanshell timer. Shall we same script for beanshell timer? Okay, let's add a beanshell timer to request to add timer, beanshell timer. So if I add a timer to request to where the gap will be applicable, 1 and 2. And if I add a timer to 2, the delay between 1 and 2 only, no? Right. Now let's say I have passing username and some users and ramp over some of the things. Right. So instead of that, I'm directly taking here. So generally, if you want to extract, what you have to do, where.get. Correct. So now, okay, let's define like that one. We are defining add config elements. Okay, will be okay. I'm adding users. Let's say 100 and ramp up. Let's say 500. Okay. So based on that, right? Our users ramp up will be using here automatic. Correct. Users ramp up. So if I want to delay based on this thing, I'm telling one of the examples. So I don't have to go anywhere. Automatically, I'll just give the in my user defined variables. So true, I won't ask it where are the user ramp dependencies. I will use simply the variables. Right. So on the timer, if I want to use it now, so first I have to get it right. Again, by default, all data types of your variables is users. I'm sorry, string. Users equal to var dot get. So to get a variables inside, we have to use var dot get. Same again, string ramp up equal to var dot get. What is the user variable I defined here? Ramp up, small, all small. Okay, let's print it again, whether we're getting the values or not. Log dot info users. So I'm not attaching any description there. Okay, log dot info ramp up. Okay, first let's check it is working or not. So by default, semicolon is important. In our integer eclipse, it will tell you the semicolon, but in geometry it won't. So you have to check. Okay, got 100 and 500. See? Okay, it's working. Now let's write a logic. So first we have to do division, right? I want to delay time by ramp up by users. So now can I divide these strings? No, I can't use divide to strings here. Okay, sorry, it's running. Okay, 500, 100, no, it's running that much of time. Okay, let's give 1 and 5, right? As of now. 1. Okay. So now I can't use division option on the strings, right? Because I need to do division on the integers, not the strings. So now what I need to do, I have strings on by default, all of format strings. So I need to convert this string into integer. So let's Google how to convert string to integer. We have to use parse int method, but I'm telling you, right, how to use this one. String to int in Java. Okay, see, this is what we have to use, integer dot parse int. So let's copy this line. Okay, now I'll write int u, right? I'm defining integer of what is the value I need to give here users. Simple. So I'm converting my users of string into the integer and I'm defining the u variable. Okay, now same thing copy for your ramp up. Int r equal to integer dot percent of ramp up. You should know what I have to do. You can get the logic from the Google. You don't have to you remembering entire things here. Okay. Now let's say again. Now what I have to do? We have to get the division, right? R by u have to do. Now I'll put int t equal to r divided by u. Okay, let's print whether we're getting the value of t or not. Log dot info. So I can't use, I need to write here. Time is something plus t. So we got 5, right? 5 by 1. So it means our calculation work. Now I need to delay this one. So in beanshell assertion, we have is failure and failure message. Same as for timer, we have one keyword that's called return. If I say return T, that's it. It will delay this much of time. But if you think we 5, right? But if you give means 5 milliseconds, correct? So JMate won't be, I mean, to stop now 5 milliseconds, you won't be able to understand. So let's convert into milliseconds. So what I will do now here, I will do only into milliseconds by into 1000. Into 1000, right? Into 1000. So means I'll get a 5000, means 5 seconds. So I can see the delay in my transactions. Now let's run the code again. Let's see whether getting T5 5000 or not. You got 5000. If you see here, see, request to will start after 5 seconds. If you see start time, 8:39:39, 8:39:34. You see that 5 seconds difference. Understood? Simple. So if you want to use customization, like whatever the logic you want to do anything, but you want to get time, you have to use return. So when you call return in beanshell timer, then it will delay it. Without return, whatever the logic, even they give, it won't work. You have to use return as a keyword in beanshell timer. Okay, whereas beanshell assertion, you have to use failure and failure message. Okay, got it right?
Yes, right.
Same. Yeah, only these two things only. Assertion timer only this. Otherwise, other things are normal. You can use anything there. Only timer and assertion, you have to use these keywords. Okay, so let's go to other scripts. Okay, so let's decide post processor, sampler, pre-processor. So in the post processor, let's see what other example I'm using here. What a post processor will do? What is the post processor will do?
After execution.
After execution, right? Suppose in here we are doing, okay, right. So here we are extracting the sessions, right? If you remember our first class web load. So I want to print the session ID because I want to check with my developers or some other use case. I want to print it, whatever extracted. So how to print it? Okay, so I need to print into one some file whatever extracted, right? So now in that case we don't have any component. Okay, we'll give session ID right into a file. No, so that's where I have an option of beanshell post processor, where I will write a code. Okay, so to get it, what you have to do first, you have to get it inside, right? So I'm just getting inside output, where.get. So I'm just checking whether I'm getting the output or not. Okay, now I will Google it. Simply beanshell code or write to data or not. Okay, so let's see. This is I found here. FOU2 file outstream is one of the Java class where you can pass the data. Okay, so now let's give location of your folder, JMeter, Control C. Okay, put in double slashes. That's a format. Just Google it, how to print a data in Beanshell or Java, that's it. Okay, what is it today date? This is Feb 28. Now I'll give some file name, Feb 28. So it means when I run the code, it will create the file feb28.txt in the folder and see, right, f dot write means I'm writing the 65 here, so it will write the 65. Okay, let's run the code and see. Okay, registry. So first we got the output now. Some value I'm getting here. Okay, and let's go to the your false research file that there are not. It's not created, no? Fab. A second. There are no errors also. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Why it is not working? Okay, let me comment on this. So this is also one code, only file output stream. I'm printing only. Let's go the path there. This may be old code, that's why not working. Let me comment on this. Why it's not good? Okay, so what is the path I given? Feb jmeter. So it should create the file. Just 1 second. It is not creating. Same fault only na FEB jmeter 2023. Why it is not creating the file and not throwing error also? How come this? Okay, let's Google it. Other code. How to write to file in, let's search in JMeter. Okay, write extracted data to a file. Okay, so let's use this file, the code, and let's run. Okay, let me use add post parser, beanshell post parser. Okay, let me give the path. Control C. Okay, the passing the data only. Let's check whether it's creating the file. No, it's not creating. Why? Okay, I'll check it. Why it's not creating? So nothing issues there. Okay, suppose C, right? So now I want to print my response code of previous request. So how to do? First option is you can read the express it and get it, right? Response code. But no, in that case, you can use our function. This jmate ctext dot preview get result dot get response code. Okay, let me copy this print and show you. Ctext is nothing but context. If you see here for any component, right, you will see ctext is context of your script. Okay, so let's comment on also. Let me write only print that log.info ctext means this is ctext context of get previous result. What are the previous, right? What is the one? For one request to print response code. Simply copy and run it. So we got 200. Okay, I'll check the file writing why it's not working later. Okay, so like this way you can write it. If I want to do anything, right? I'm not sure why the code is working. I'll check it. Okay, now let's use now. Suppose I want to use entire data. I want to print entire data, right? So in that cases we have In our listener, add listener simple data writer or save response to file. If you use these two options, you can print entire data or use it. Let's see. Simple data writer. Say I given here session.csv. Write revision file, right? So I simply enable it. Okay. And run the button. See, the file got generated. What's due date, right? 28th. If you open the file, see it has the data. If you want whatever the want, you can't use it. You can use the session.csv. Write to result to a file. Don't say. Okay, this is a simple data writer. Now, but I want to some customization. Then I can use flexible file writer. Okay, flexible file writing, but same thing, but you can add more. Suppose you want to write headers. How do you want write, right? Or how do you want to define your own report? So you can use this flexible file writer. Whenever you want to generate a proper reports now, if you want is by default, what we'll get in a JTL file, right? But if you don't want JTL file, you want in a proper customization of report, headers, everything, you can write here. See, whatever write header, you'll get in header format. Whatever write in footer, you'll get footer. And in between, it will take the data in between here. Okay. So that's a post processor. But till I'll check the thing, right? Now, same thing you can do pre-processor. What is pre-processor? What it will do? Before, right? If you're running before the request, I want to pre-process and use it. Suppose here I will be using my requirement of, let's say, Google or some search. Okay. So in the search, we have Q is a field. Okay. I want to send the different data here. So if there's no function, what I have to do? So I'm writing a code here. What I'm taking is given inputs of two things, 1000 and 3000. So I'm getting a BSH means beanshell.aux. So I'm getting a 0 and showing minimum value and a maximum. Beanshell of aux 1 maximum. Then I'm using some simple Java condition to get a maximum number. Now, till now, what we did, we just printed, we are retrieved, but we haven't sent right back. So to send back, you have to use where.put. Where.get means inside to a script. Once you're done with script logic and you have to send outside to use other scripts, you have to use where.put. So what I did, this number, right, random is my input. As it's an integer, I'm converting string.value means one kind of integer. Now I'm putting this number. So whenever I want this value of random, I can use dollar curly brace a random number. So this pre-processable code will happen before sending a request. So that's in the case, in the request, I can send it here random. So is the same code work in the sampler post processor also. But after that, where will send? We can't send, no? That's why pre-processor. So now come to here. If you see the dollar curly brace random number, because where.put is nothing but it will take the value inside, so can store it. Now let's run this code. See here is 157 to 2074 for first value. Okay, let's check first 2074, 2467. Okay, 242. Now let's change the number. Suppose I want to do generate numbers between some 66 and 88. Now let's run the code. See 81. So it will get difference between 84. Same numbers 83, 84, 83 like that. We can low combination, right? We'll get a same number repeated most of the time. But now, as I told you, right, if you have functions, you don't have to write a code. So what I need a minimum and maximum number of random, right? So we'll go to our tools, function helper dialog. We have random. Not choose random. We have random. Where is random? So just give minimum value. Let's give minimum 88. Maximum is 100. Just click on generate clipboard. We got the numbers here. Just it's copied already clipboard. And wherever required, simply replace here. I'm just telling you both the values so that you'll understand. See, right? Instead of writing a code, all this thing getting well. Now simply you can use a function. Dollar random 88 100. Run the code now. See 100 93. Last values now checking 100 95 95. Let's give more range so that we'll get a proper number. Let's give 1000 1001. So the more combinations, the more data we'll get, no? Six 97, 907, 351, 615. Understood, right? 481. So like this, you can use a function or code, whereas we discuss beans a preprocessor. So what are the logic you want to write before sending a request? You can use a beans preprocessor. Okay, it's clear. Beans preprocessor. Nirila, Swata, understood, right? I mean, the concept, all are same
Yes.
only, but you should know what to use, when to use. That's it. Now, same code a sampler. What sampler will do? Sampler like a kind of request level, right? It's like API, correct? Sampler. So whatever the code in the beanshell sampler, it will execute in the API window only. You don't have depend on post or preprocessor. It's normal, it run as a request. Suppose simply I given this small one, where A equal to and A B equal to C equal to simply A plus B. Right? Now if I run this code, simple, very simple. I want to print the C. Means this will happen as a sampler format. I mean, you can use same code again, preprocessor code or post processor code in sampler also, but it will execute in a sampler level. That's the only difference. It's not dependent on the either pre or post of the any child request. It will act as a main request only. Okay. So only thing is logic is same, coding is same. So where to use? As a pre or post or sampler, assertion or timer. Only these are the 5 beans components of using. Okay. We'll stop for class today.